am going to call on Princess Deun to talk about the very reason, one of the very reasons why we're gathered here this evening. We're here to honor a woman as well as the work she's doing with the Girlchild Network Worldwide. And I am calling on Princess Deun to talk to us about the Girlchild Network.
I don't like podiums, so I'll just stay here. Good evening, everyone. First of all, give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Now look at the person to your left or right and tell them, it's good to be here, and it's great to share love. Thank you so much, Lady Essen. Yes, I am Princess Deun. I am the chair of Girlchild Network Worldwide. It's an organization that was set up by Mujari Betty Makoni, who is our special guest of honor. Mujari means Her Royal Highness. So she's actually a princess from the Makoni lineage, Manika land in Zimbabwe. That's in Southern Africa. The Girlchild Network was born out of a combination of things. First and foremost, for those who were here earlier today and you listened to Mujari's abridged version of her life, because her whole life she tried to put it into like maybe half an hour, and I think she did a good job. But she was able to at least highlight a few key points about her journey. She was someone who got raped at age 6, saw her mother being killed at age 9 due to domestic violence. Thus she became a mother to her own siblings. And sadly, at age 12, she buried one of her brothers, who had become like a son to her, because at age 12 she was a mother looking after them. So with the combination of all this, and of course with the hardship that you go through when you're like an orphan, particularly growing up in that part of Africa where survival is a challenge. The funny thing is, on the one side, this was a young girl who was from a line of royals. She was actually royalty. And when we hear the word royalty, we believe, there should be affluence, there should be money, there should be comfortability. But I can tell you that also the Windsors, that's Her Majesty the Queen, they also have what we can call poor relatives. So even though they are blood related, maybe through something or the other, they have been dispossessed of what is rightfully theirs. And that's what happened to Mujari, her side of the family, because an uncle came and took away all the wealth and all the land. Now, growing up, she knew that education was her key to unlocking anything and everything she wanted to achieve in life. And to the glory of God Almighty, she was able to achieve that. But even after graduating, after getting a job, there was a passion so strong inside of her. Hence, she birthed Girlchild Network. It just started like a little girls' club, and she started with 10 girls. The reason I'm telling you this too, why she decided to put this project and mission of Girlchild Network together. Because I always believe that only he who sits somewhere knows how it feels to sit sacks, seven things, walk the seven path, felt the seven. Before you can then say, oh, I know how that person feels. So because Betty had felt all these pains and challenges and experiences, the passion in her was so much, she believed that she needed to set it up. And this has been going on, she set it up in 1999? 1999. This is 2013. So it's not sometimes about, the numbers, as I said in the morning. It's not how long, it's how well. And we've continued to build from 10 girls to 20, 50, 200, 1,000, 70,000. Now I can proudly say as chair of the organization that we look after over 300,000 girls across Africa. Also here in Europe, we look after some girls in Canada and North America. Now because of Betty's understanding of education, she actually became a teacher. So she knows, first of all, how to embrace education and how to impart it. It's a very beautiful combination. And therefore she understood that to be able to give a child, that's a girl, that opportunity to unlock their potentials for the future, the best thing you can give anyone is that opportunity to embrace education. Be it academic education, be it the ability to embrace the values and the ethics of your surroundings, to be able to be a better person and be an integral part of our ecosystem. So in Girlchild Network, when we raise funds on small levels, sometimes not even as big as the gathering we have tonight. Sometimes we have small numbers, sometimes we have medium size, sometimes we have huge numbers, depending on the community that invites us. We blend with any kind of community, in as much as we know that they have the same passion as we do. And when we raise money for our girls, we have continued to use the template that Mujari created. And that's a template whereby the actual beneficiary gets the money. So we don't have money that goes into the pockets of coordinators or officials. Sometimes we see big organizations that send people to Asia and Africa, for similar projects. And a lot of money goes on four-wheel drives, houses, looking after them. Sometimes even the convenience of relocating, they give them that relocation allowance. Because we realize that a lot of money just goes to waste doing that. So she has come up with this beautiful template that is being replicated actually. And I'm very proud to stand today to say, because she will not say it herself, she's actually been brought on board the G8. There's a project that the G8 is working on now, and Mr. William Hague heads it. And they looked all over the world. Can you imagine? All over the world. And who did they decide to appoint as the expert? Mujari Betty Makoni. And when she did go to speak with them at the last meeting in London, the first people to jump on board of what she spoke about was Japan and Russia, and all the other countries fell into it. That we believe that the template that you've come up with is very practical, it's very proactive, it's very believable, it's very simple. That's the most beautiful thing about it. There are no complications. We haven't had a think tank of 100 people or committee members that, when we say, oh, let's set up this policy. She just sat in her little village in Chitungwiza many, many years ago, way back in 1999, as a young teacher, and she wrote this out, and she began to improve on it year after year. And therefore, it is with pride that the Girlchild Network is able to impact lives of girls everywhere we go. We do a lot of workshops. We also train trainers. We have some of our girls that have graduated. We're talking about girls that we rescued from being raped. We rescued from being child brides. We rescued from domestic violence. We rescued for just being poor, unable to fend for themselves, disadvantaged girls. And mind you, as I said to the Honourable this morning, we also look after young boys. So even though it's a girls' club, it's not exclusively for girls. We believe in the girl child, but also we believe in every child. So I would want to implore you that if you can find it in your heart to contribute and support what we're doing in the Girlchild Network, and also support what Lady Esegis is trying to do through the Women of Love. It will be absolutely delightful. You can go on our website, you see how we work, what we do. If you want to know each girl, we have all their dossiers. We have intelligence that work with us, so we have records of every girl. We follow them up. We know what's happening to them, how they progress. Some of them have graduated, as I said, and they've actually set up similar Girlchild networks. One of them is in Uganda. She's one, in fact, I think she's one of our first graduates. When I say graduates, after going through the Girlchild Network program, we were able to support them to go through school and onto university. So she's actually a graduate. There's another one as well who's become a lawyer. There's one who's become an engineer. So there's so many of them like that. And there's some of them who are not necessarily into academics, because not everybody, as I said earlier, education is not only about academics. Sometimes you have your skills to become an entrepreneur. You have your skills to become an inventor. You can innovate things. You can create things. So we also have set up small-scale cottage factories in Zimbabwe, whereby they also they have mills so that they can make their own meals, bag them, put the label on them, and sell them. We also have enablement through farming, so we can farm things and also sell vegetables and cash crops. Thank you very much. Also, if you would like, we have a few more books left. We had quite a number with us yesterday, but we were also at another event in London. This is Mujari's book, Never Again. And she's called it that because she doesn't want what happened to her to happen to any other girl again. So she's called it Never Again. Never to any woman or girl again. So never shall there be oppression, never that shall there be rape, never that shall there be a reason for any girl to cry or to suffer. What she's done is, it's her autobiography. She put her entire journey into this book. It's written in very simple, easy to read English. So when you pick it up, you never want to put it down until you finish it. I can tell you that because over the years I keep going back again to read it, you know. It's a book that will open your minds to the realities of life. It's a book that will also encourage you, even as human beings, no matter what level you are in life, to ensure that you do your own bit to make somebody else's life a better living experience. And also to enable us all to contribute together in creating a better quality of life for the generation that's coming after us. Every penny that we raise from the book goes to the girls. There was a day I asked Majari, I said, I know a lot of authors, and when they have bestseller books, they make oodles of money. I mean, we know about J.K. Rowling and the rest of them. They make a lot of money and they live a good life. You know, buy private jets, build houses. I said, why do you give all the money to the charity? She said, that's one of the ways I can self-raise funds for my charity without necessarily going cap in hand. Even though sometimes, you know, you say you can go cap in hand to fundraise, but sometimes, you know, it's dignified to actually try to fundraise yourself. So this is Majari's own dignified way of fundraising. So if you buy the book, the money goes to one of our girls. When we raise £10, that's £10. £10 pays the fees for our girls for maybe a term, am I right? For one term. That's about 3 months. £10 to us might not be a lot of money. We spend it at McDonald's or buy ice cream. But to a child that is in any of those countries in our empowerment villages in Africa, £10 is like their life. That's to enable them to go to school for a term. Sometimes to help them buy sanitary pads. Sometimes to help them buy shoes, books, to enable them to do their hair. And little things that we in the Western world sometimes take for granted. So one more time, I'd love to implore you to make sure that you do support us and make sure that you also hold hands with women of love. And as you do so, the good Lord will bless you tremendously. Thank you so much.